go! Telecaster tone, man. Hey, everybody. I'm back. I still have the good fortune. Yeah, Randy, it's pretty clean for me. I got some feedback last week that said, hey, man, like, you always play dirty, and it's really cool. I don't play like heavy metal dirty, but I play dirty. It might be a reflection on my heart. I don't know. But, you know, you're playing an old Telecaster. I'd like to hear it clean. So, there you go. It sounds awesome, doesn't it? It just rings. And I don't know if it's coming through on the internet, but in my headphones, the harmonics are. It's still ringing in my headphones. I don't think that comes through. There's a lot of compression that StreamYard and other things put on these things, but I still hear it ringing in my headphones. But so I can put a clean booster on it and really get you going. But we don't need that. We're going to play a little clean today. It's going to be a short one. If a lot of you are sitting there going, wow, Dan looks kind of bad today, it's because I feel bad. I've got a fun little cold. Not COVID. Just a little cold. One of those ones that makes you just want to sleep for 23 hours straight. So anyway, I'm going to keep it kind of short today, probably down around a half hour. But I had some friends go, hey man, I'd love to hear that Tele clean, you nerd. Randy, I did. No amp sound. Wait, what? Oh, seriously? You guys can't hear the amp? Oh man, don't tell me this is. Let me try this again. Hold on. I gotta tell you, live streaming is not. How about that? Is that better? Can you hear it now? That's a bummer because what I was playing at the beginning sounded really good. I got signal going on both channels right here. Only the guitar strings. Are you kidding? No amp. Oh. You know, there's only one wire here. I don't know what to tell you. I'm hearing beautiful sound in my headphones. Son of a gun. Well, it might just be a talk show today. I got signal going here. It's going out to the mixer. Is going out to the computer. The computer's telling me it's seeing. Oh, shit. I gotta tell you, man, live streaming is always fun. Let me play with some crap here. Anything coming through now? I mean, I'm just playing with, like, the mixer, like, summing things and unsumming things. There's nothing to do. I mean, this is not really a mixer. It's just a bare bones channel strip. Sounds beautiful in here. I mean, beautiful. I'll be damned. You hear the guitar now? You hear me, but do you hear this? You guys can hear that? Shit. Hey, Dennis. Good to see you, buddy. The guitar is there now. Can everybody else confirm you're hearing the guitar? No, you just hear the strings of the guitars. Ah, shit fire. Yeah, guys, I don't know what to do. Room sound from the mic only. I'll be damned. I mean, I'm looking at this right now. Only the acoustic sound. Hey, Robert Keeley, you're here. Good thing one of my peers shows up on a day where the rig isn't working right. Son of a gun. I can't believe it. Can't believe it. Yeah, there's nothing else for me to do other than try to restart, but then you guys all get kicked off. It happens all the time. Yeah, it does. Seems to be about 1 out of 5 shows that I try to do on StreamYard. And this is the acknowledged best software around. I've called, people here in town that do this. Tim Pierce, people like that. And they're like, yeah, I just use StreamYard. It seems to be random. Well, okay, let's just talk about guitars then. Robert Keeley is here. Robert, nice to see you. Welcome aboard. One of the pedals you would be hearing if the stuff was working right is Robert Keeley's 30 millisecond pedal, which is a double tracker, and it has a lot of cool other effects, one of which is a really nice hall reverb that I'm using. It sounds beautiful in here. And I like double tracking. That's how I record. So, loving the rotary pedal. Yeah. Yeah, the rotary stuff on this is great. And it has an Abbey Road setting that's really cool. And if you do any kind of Beatle reference from me, I'm hooked. I have a problem with the Beatles, like 12-step. Hi, my name's Dan. I'm addicted to the Beatles. My goodness, I don't know what to do here. I don't want to restart because I'm on 3 Facebook pages and 2 YouTube pages and everything, and it won't restart everything. I'll be damned. I'm out of options. If you could see, I just have the Apogee Duet here, and the interface is really Spartan. There's not much to it. There's not. I have not had a chance. Robert asked, did you get a chance to run the 30 millisecond in stereo? I have not yet, Robert. I know it's amazing. Yeah, I have not. I would like to. Son of a gun, I can't believe this. Let's see. What's happening here? What's happening? Main output format. Let's go to fixed. Setting the main output fill will cause the main outputs to be full line level and disable the main output monitor. No, we don't want that. Yeah, I haven't changed anything. Like, this is what worked last week. Son of a gun. I don't know what to do. Steve Weinberg, hey buddy. Yeah, he said he loves his Halo. You got a lot of fans here, Robert. I wish I could show off your pedal right now, but for some reason, honestly, I haven't touched anything. This is just what happens about every 5 times, 6 times, something just goes wrong. And unfortunately, today's the day. So we're just going to sit and talk for a few minutes. It's not a bad day for me to duck out early because, like I said, I've got a nice little cold right now. And I am completely faking it. But we can talk about guitars. This guitar is a 51 Telecaster. I don't know if you guys saw it last week. Yeah, Robert, you should show up more often. You got a lot of fans here. I wish you could hear this. It's so damn good. Here, watch. It's going to feed back. Oh, shit. No, not going to work. I have to mute my vocal mic. It sounds so good. Let me see if I can do this just as a goof. But I have it in stereo gang, so if I mute one, I mute the other. Never mind. Let's go back to stereo or mono. Hey Lorenzo, how are you, buddy? But yeah, Robert, I know you make a whole ton of great pedals. Everyone I know has at least one of your pedals. Here's the 51 Tele. Unfortunately, Lorenzo, you're not going to be able to hear it. The aux is on. Yeah, everything's on. I never actually turned the aux off. Oswald Bates says, Robert, I just got a Memphis Sun recently. Love it. Yeah. If you guys don't know Robert Keeley's pedals, you really need to get in there. Yeah. Nothing's changed, Randy. I can turn the aux off and on. See if maybe that will. The problem is I'm hearing it in my headphones, so I'm getting the output from the aux from the interface. It should be working. There's no reason it should not. But I'll flip it off and see what happens. I'm hearing really glorious Telecasters. Ah, son of a gun. And I just kicked back on in my ears. Did you guys hear it? So if I do this, watch. It's coming through my headphones. Randy Kress says, oh, hey man, I'm muted. Hold on. I was muted there. Sorry. Randy Kress says, I have over 50 Robert Keeley pedals. Oh my goodness. And 265 amps. Well, you're beating me there, Robert. Oh my God, this sounds so good. Bring back the Stone Pony. I am. That's a good request. Look, I'm going to put this guitar up. If I'm not going to play it, it has to go back in the case. But let's have a good look at it, though, before I put it up, and we can talk about it. I can sit here and hold it, I guess, just for curiosity. It's a 1951 Telecaster. Judging by the numbers on the bridge plate here, which is, what is it? 1155. So there's no way to know. You can't date it by you didn't hear anything really, because it's coming. Oh, I had the mic muted so it didn't feed back. No, it's not a chubby neck. Yeah, no, there's only one source here. I have it right here, Duet 3. Sample rate, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I had, that was dumb. I had muted the vocal mic. So it wouldn't feedback, and then I put the headphones on the vocal mic expecting it to work. Seriously, guys, I've got a cold that is making me dumber than my normal dumb right now. I'm just trying to fake it. I mean, I'm in a good mood, but boy, can I go back to sleep. So, yeah. Today is one of those days. So, 1951, the wood, as you would expect, is all dried out. All the sugar and all the cellulose and everything is gone. So, what it is I don't even hear it, how loud that is, but I'm just knocking on it normally, right? Guitars don't sound like that when you knock on them. Love you too, Randy. Be careful, buddy. And we'll talk soon, yeah. So if you have a guitar in your hand right now, knock on it like that. It's not very loud, right? This sounds like someone's pounding on my front door. This wood is all dried out, and then this maple is ridiculously hard. So it's probably old growth maple when it was made in 51, but who knows when Leo Fender bought the wood. He might have bought it in 1948 or something. But it's not a very big neck. It does have sort of a soft shoulder on it, which you can see. And it's kind of weird. It's like, I think it's been played in a lot. So like up here, it's kind of a medium C. And then right through here, there's a little bit of a soft shoulder right here. Very soft shoulder. I think it used to be more pronounced. It's probably been worn down. And then when you get back up here, it's back to more of a broader C. So my guess is in 1951, Fender was really small. And they didn't have a lot of guys working there, and everything was handmade. They weren't cutting necks, you know, with CNC machines. They had a jig, they cut it out, and they were all finished by hand. So I'm guessing this one just had a little bit of unique finish work on it. The radius is also, it's not been planed. We know for sure that it's not been planed, but the radius is somewhere in between. Yeah, you got it too, huh? Yeah, every cold that's in the country comes to LA because of our airports. We got, like, I forgot what it is, but it's something crazy. Like, between all of the major airports here in the LA area, it's like 700 flights landing every hour. And so we get every virus and bacteria there is here in the city. I really wish you could hear that. Fingers crossed I have this again next week. I don't think I will, but maybe. And we'll start and restart until it works. I'm so sorry, guys. I really apologize. So anyway, it's a 1951. This does not belong to a famous player. It belongs to a very well-known guy in the music business. I really shouldn't say, but you guys know who he is. In the musical instrument business. Guy who's a good friend of mine. And so I was up taking my daughter to her senior year in college up in the Bay Area at Berkeley, and the guitar was in Petaluma. So my friend said, hey, would you mind, this isn't the kind of guitar you ship, right? You don't even really want to fly with this guitar because chances are it might get gate checked or something and you're screwed. The way airlines are running these days. So I volunteered to drive it back down. And the bonus of it was my friend's out of town for a while. So I get to have custody of it until he's back in town. I wish you could hear that. It's really crazy good. Yeah, I don't know what's up there. I mean, I'm hearing the output from my interface in my headphones. So that means something's wrong between my interface and the computer, or the computer and StreamYard. No way that I know of to track that down. Friends with 51 benefits, that's right. I got 51 problems in a guitar, ain't one. But anyway, it's an amazing guitar. It rings like a bell. It's kind of a once-in-a-lifetime thing, and I really wanted to share it with you guys. I played it last week, but I played it kind of dirty, and I had a couple people reach out to me and go, hey, man, I like your rock and roll and all that stuff, but could you play it clean? So I could hear. The pickup is amazing, the bridge pickup. The neck pickup's kind of just a 50s neck pickup. I'm not really wild about it, but the bridge pickup is insane. So needless to say, we got a clone going of it. But in the neck, I think it's just through wear, has come to a really lovely shape. It's come to a shape that personally agrees with the geometry of my hand. Like, I don't really have huge hands. They're pretty average size hands. I don't have huge paws. So a lot of 50s Telecasters to me have necks that are just marginally too big. Like, I don't really feel, it's a little extra work for me. That I'm fine with, but given the choice, I'd rather not. Another friend of mine who's a guitar maker, I took it over there to share it with him, and we're cloning this neck with a piece of hard rock maple that's perfectly quarter sawn, and we can build this neck without a truss rod. So it will, with that quarter sawn hard rock maple, it will ring like a bell. So I've had two guitars in my life that did not have truss rods, and they were Telecasters, and they both rang so much. Anything new with the Proto Yorn? No, nothing. We're kind of in a holding pattern now because it was summer. Starting to get back together this week. I got a big meeting tomorrow. So if you guys have a God, pray to him. If you don't, just throw all your good energy my way. I got a big meeting tomorrow, which should be one of the big steps towards financing, getting the money in. And it looks very positive. The feedback that I'm getting is very positive. But anyway, so this guitar, something about the neck, I don't know, the wood is crazy good. It's just really hard and really resonant, and I'm sure it's because, all the sugars and cellulose is out of it. So the piece of wood that my friend that I mention here on all the time helped me with was a quarter sawn piece of roasted maple that's really old. So it should be as close as you can get to this. You can't really fake age, but you can do pretty good. With the roasting, it gets rid of the sugars and the cellulose and lines it up, on an atomic level like aging does and vibrating does with wood. And then you remove the truss rod element of the neck. The truss rod really disrupts the sound wave or the vibration wave in the wood, right? So, and then it's also mixed materials. So you got wood vibrating, and then there's a metal rod in there. So if you have a Telecaster without a truss rod, it rings in a really insane way, piano-like ring. So that's what I'm going to try to do. And I have a body laying around here that's a roasted swamp ash body, also dried out, so I can do that. And I should probably going to take a couple of months to get it all together, but I'll be able to play it here on the show. So I've had two guitars that were without a truss rod. One was built by Chris Fleming over at Fender Custom Shop. It was actually an Esquire with no truss rod in it, and he said it was a 400-year-old piece of hard rock maple that the neck was. And I'm telling you, you could just hit a chord and go get a cup of coffee. It was so crazy. And the tone, it brought out all these harmonics and extra elements and textures in just a Tele pickup. The Esquire is just a single pickup, right? And you can hear the microphonic pickup squealing. So it was incredible. It really worked well. And the other one was a Telecaster that Michael DeTemple built for me about 15 years ago. Unfortunately, both of those guitars were victims of the recession. Had to sell a lot of equipment during the recession, and that still hurts. But you do what you got to do. I have children and a mortgage and a lovely wife, and I do it all over again without hesitation. So anyway, I'm looking forward to trying to get something that rings like this. And the guy who's going to do the finish on it is an expert with an E, expert forger. And so we're going to do an aging job on it and try to get it looking right. And so I'm really excited. And my net cost on this is practically nothing. It's great. So I will keep you guys in the loop. I know this is an amp show and I'm here nerding out on guitars, but what are you going to do? So this Telecaster is killer. I have the Community Telecaster, which you guys have seen, which sounds amazing, and I thought it rang like a bell until I played this. This is a whole new level of wood resonance that I didn't know existed. And I wish you guys were here. We wish you could sit here in my office and we could pass it around and play it. This is the kind of thing that everybody should experience. So I'm getting the neck cloned from a 3D scanning, CNC machine place. And once I have that done, I will share it with you guys so you can make your own if you want. Now, the CNC won't get the contours of the neck perfectly. You're going to have to do some hand work. So if you can find a roasted maple neck blank where you can cut a neck out of it, we can do it. You can feel what this feels like. It's not a big neck. It's not a skinny little neck either. It's just nice, perfect, medium-sized neck. For my hands, I don't know how many of you guys have huge hands, but I don't. And there's sort of like this macho thing of like, I remember I gotta have a big old neck. Bigger the neck, the better, And I'm not one of those guys. I can play guitars with big necks. It's fine. I have a Les Paul with a huge neck on it, and it's great. And I have a Junior with a very big neck on it, and it's fine. And that community Tele has an above average size. Lorenzo says there is a reason why Stradivari used old wood, I guess. Yeah, when it dries out, wood has... I'm just repeating this. I'm an amp guy, so don't take my word on guitar stuff. But all wood, when it's new, has moisture in it, of course, because it's the roots have been feeding it, and that takes decades to get out, especially when you're dealing with a hardwood, that's really dense green. And then there's cellulose and sugar in there that eventually leave through osmosis or just drying out, especially in different parts of the country. Like here in Los Angeles, it never gets very humid. So just leaving your guitars out of the case will dry them out. And like my Martin, I have to keep in the case with a humidifier in it. Otherwise, it'll start rattling. The wood dries out so much, which is really nice when you want to go play it. But I keep it humidified. It's in a big case right over there. And that's right. Just ask Paul Smith. He knows all this. He knows way more than I do. I'm just relaying sort of what I've been told. I'm not relaying my knowledge, if that makes sense. I've been had a lot of conversations about this in the past 2 weeks since I've had this guitar. I picked it up tomorrow. It'll be 2 weeks ago that I picked it up, and so I've talked to kind of all the top guitar guys here in LA, and I've taken the guitar to them just because you should share it, right? This is not intellectual property. This is not a secret to hoard. This is something everybody should get a chance to touch. And again, I wish you guys were here. We could just sit around and drink coffee and play guitar and smile a whole lot. So anyway, the way you can get close to that is with roasted wood. Michael DeTemple and Lance Lerman and guys like that here that make really high-end Teles, they've gone to roasted wood because it just resonates better. It rings, And if you want to, you can go on Fender.com. Like the neck that's on there, I bought from Fender on the community Tele. I bought from Fender.com. It's a Esquire neck, roasted maple, and it's hard as crap. I could drive nails with that thing, and it rings. It rings really great. But the body that's on there is not roasted ash. It's a really nice one-piece ash body, but it's not roasted. So it needs to dry out. And I went and played it with a few guys that are top-level guys a few weeks ago, just jamming. And what do you think of your guitar? And I go, well, it sounds really good, but it just feels a little constipated. And they're like, yeah, it needs to dry out. I can hear it. Older guys, that know what they're talking about. And so the roasting does that. But that 54 body that I have was donated to me. That's why I call it the community Tele, by Ron Ellis. It was actually a forgery. It was not a real 54 body, but it fooled a very prestigious vintage dealer up in the Bay Area. I'm not going to say his name because it's embarrassing. But he sold it as a 54 Tele. He had no idea. The patina and the faking, the forgery on it is really good. So anyway, me being the tinkerer that I am, and also not somebody who's got a whole bunch of money to spend on vintage guitars. Tommy Hayes, what's up, buddy? I'm trying to get there through the back door, forge one. You can hear how loud that is just through the vocal mic. I've never heard a guitar ring this loud. I'm playing with my fingers. I'm not hitting it. That's resonance. It's crazy. So anyway, there you have it. It's about 12:30. I'm going to cut it off here shortly. I see we're getting people in now. And for you, those of you just logging in, I'm sorry. StreamYard's not cooperating today. Ask Red Volkert to will you one. Yeah. Yeah, there's a bunch of them around. I know guys here that own a bunch of blackguards and 50s tellies that own enough to affect the market price of them. One of them is Vince Gill. I think he's got 25 blackguards. But Norman Harris has containers full of 50s tellies. He can control the market. If he's not getting the price that he wants for some of his vintage guitars, he pulls them back. And hey, there's FedEx guy, big old box. I don't know what that is. So they're out there, and all of these guys that own them are usually over 70 years old. Vince Gill's not, but he's getting close. And we're there goes the FedEx truck. They'll be coming. I don't think the pricing's ever going to go down because they've become like Bitcoin. People don't buy these to play them anymore. They just buy them as investments, which sucks for you and I because that really ups the price on everything. Supply and demand, right? When there's no supply, the price goes way up. This particular guitar, I don't know exactly what it's worth because it's not a museum piece at all. I mean, you can't see it, but there's just cracking and patina. And look at the nicotine stains on this. I mean, you can smell it. Like 74 years of cigarettes, I think. 74-year-old guitar. But anyway, what I was getting at earlier is the bridge plate here. The number on it is 1155. And as I understand it, the last Telecaster made in 1951 had the number 1300 on it. So that's 145 guitars later. And they only made a couple hundred Telecasters in 51. There's not that many of them around. Tommy, no, Peter does not have a blackguard, as far as I know. If he does, he's holding out on me. Peter's not a super Tele guy. He's more of a Les Paul Strat kind of guy. Lorenzo, yeah, this is a very good point. If you like, there are people who studied ancient violins and tone wood. They may have used aluminum to diminish hemicellulose. Yeah, I know there's ways to do it. I know they're kind of expensive. It adds a lot to the cost of making a guitar. And the sad truth of it is a lot of people can't tell the difference. I don't mean that in a snobby way. It's just the truth. Most guys are just weekend hobbyists. They just play guitar for an hour on Sunday or less than that. So you have to have a certain facility on the instrument to get these reactions out of the guitar, which a lot of people don't. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's not because they're bad people or they're dumb or they're stupid or they're ignorant or anything. They just haven't played enough, Like if you were to put me in a Formula One car, I'm just going to drive it right into a wall. I don't have enough hours driving a Formula One car to be good at it. You hand me a tennis racket against a real tennis player, they're going to kill me. You put me on my daughter's horse to run around a barrel pattern, I will just fly off into the fence. I know how to ride a horse, though. Like, I can go out and trail ride, and I can even lope and canter and gallop if I need to. But running around barrels, I can't do that. So, all of those things, like I play tennis, but I'm not a tennis player. I can ride a horse, but I am not a horse person, right? My daughters are. And they run monstrously powerful horses around a barrel pattern at full speed. Blows my mind. Also makes me talk to Jesus quite a bit. But, and I'm not religious. But, you get the point, right? So, the reason I bring that up is it's really not worth it for manufacturers. Yeah, Bob, don't lose any horses. It's not worth it for manufacturers to go to the extra trouble because a lot of people go into a store and go, I don't know, why am I going to pay an extra $500 for that or more? A lot of guys don't think like that. They just want a guitar to play and have fun, and that's totally cool. I mean, the more people playing guitar, the better, So please take those comments in the politest of all ways. I don't mean it as a snob thing. It's just a lot of people have a different level of analysis on guitar. And a lot of it has to do with what they can afford. Not everybody can buy a $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 guitar. And so when you start getting into using premium materials like that, it takes a lot more handwork. It's more expensive to buy. It gets up there. Like Michael DeTemple's Teles are $9,000. And the amount of detail he puts into that and the quality of the wood that he uses and everything, he's not like upcharging just to be posh. Stuff costs a lot of money. And because of that, it takes a long time to make a guitar like that. You can't just slap it together. And so he has to, he can only make 6 to 10 guitars a year. And so, it's got to add up. It's got to make sense. But, if you're just some guy that wants to play guitar, go to Guitar Center and get a Made in Mexico Strat or Tele. They're great. They sound really good. They don't sound like this, Can you hear that ring? I'm a foot away from the microphone sideways. This mic's supposed to have a lot of rejection too. Let's point it right at it. Hear that bottom end? I'm not plugged into anything. This is louder. I have a parlor guitar sitting over there on the sofa. This is louder than that. But totally not. Playing with my hands, no picks. Let me grab a pick here. Have you ever heard a guitar ring like that? I haven't. Bob Barra said, Frank Falbo, it took almost 2 years to make my Falbo Alpha. Yeah, well, Frank's a real artist. Frank knows what he's doing. That guy's a serious guitar maker. Hey, Scotty Bratcher's here. How are you, buddy? So, yeah, StreamYard's screwing the pooch today, so no. I can't think of any words that don't start with F to describe that. But anyway, so Scotty, who's always funny, says, wait, Dan, you're breaking up. I thought I heard you say expensive gear does not make you a good player. That is true. That is true for everything. Expensive gear is fun to play if you're not a good player, or you're whatever level of playing you're at. Expensive gear is kind of fun. I have played several bursts, Lorenzo. I think I've played 8 or 9 of them, and really, honestly, only 2 of them I thought were great. The rest of them just kind of felt like Les Pauls. Same with all these old Teles. I played a bunch of Blackguards, and I didn't really think they were great. A few of them are amazing. This is by far the best one I've ever touched. I think you remember a few months ago I had a 53 on here that was a friend of mine's. I didn't get along with that guitar at all. It didn't ring like this, but it's beautiful. Looked like a reissue. It hadn't been touched, investment guitar. But I think it has to be out in the air and, drying out and the finish becoming porous and all that stuff. If it's just an investment that sits in a closet in a case, I don't think they age that well. But anyway, you could give me Tiger Woods clubs and his caddy and I play a pretty good round of golf, I'm a well above average golfer. I played golf in school and all that stuff. I'm from Missouri, so I'm not like country club golf, right? It's more like 3 guys with their shirts off and a 12-pack stuffed in their bag. But I can hit the ball really well. And you could give me Tiger Woods clubs, his caddy, and his coach, or one of his previous coaches, Butch Harmon, following me down the fairway, and we could go to Augusta National, and I'm not going to break 110. It's not the equipment. If it were the equipment, we'd all just buy it. You have to actually know what you're doing. Now, if you can play guitar a little bit, a well-made guitar will free you up to do some more things. But if you can't play guitar very well, it won't change a thing. There's no substitute for work. You look at someone like Scotty Bratcher here who plays his off. He's put in the time. He's put in the work. Nobody just kind of wakes up and plays guitar. I have so many friends who are like, hey, show me how to play that. Well, you know, Lorenzo says, I have a 52 AVRI from the 2012-2017. Oh, cool. Very light coated, not bad. Yeah, I know there's a bunch of great guitars out there. So anyway, I don't want to go off on that rant till I insult people. I just, set your expectations correctly. But if you get a guitar that plays really nice, you can kind of make any guitar play really nice if you got the right guy. I've learned a lot from Michael DeTemple. I didn't play him off. The wife when I got married. Yeah. Welcome to fatherhood. So you got to do time. Like, I have this conversation about once a week with people like, man, I really like your feel or something. And I'm like, well, you gotta go deep into your brain. And this is actually valid advice. Take it with a grain of salt, because I'm an amp guy and I'm kind of goofy. I know that. But the way to do it is you got to sit down and play by yourself in a quiet room with no one around for a couple hours. And then this part of your brain right here that messes everything up will get out of the way. Yeah, I've played some Nashes. Yeah, they're great. They're really nice guitars. Says Marcus Derby. Yeah, I love Nashes. They're great. And Bill's a nice guy. Anyway, you have to sit down and play. And you can't sit down and just play stuff you know. Every day or most days, But you can't sit down and play your favorite blues licks over and over again and then go, why aren't I getting better? You have to sit around and you do. All the way up and down the neck and get the blood flowing through your hands. And work on diatonic thirds. Diatonic 6. How's it go? And just get comfortable with all that stuff. And 5 positions of a major scale. It's boring. But that's called, I think the current term I see on YouTube is fretboard fluency. If you want to become fluent on the guitar, you have to become fluent with the guitar. And if you don't know what those things are, like, go Google right now, 5 positions of a major scale. That's the foundation of everything. So every scale, yeah, you got to do ear training. That's right, Bob. But every scale that you know or will play is a variation of a major scale. A minor scale is not a different scale. It's just the major scale with a flat third, a flat 6, and a flat 7. The pentatonic scale is an edited scale. It doesn't have all the notes. It only has 5 notes of the 7 in the scale, right? So, yeah. Then you can add all those passing notes in there. But it's all, learn 5 positions of a major scale. And don't just get acquainted with it, learn it. Like here, G major, right? Let's see if I can show you on the thing. That's position 1. That's position 2, right? You go up here. How's it go? And then there's, it's same scale. There's just 5 ways to play it on the neck. So we used to do, when I went to Musicians Institute in 1986, there was always a common drill the teachers would do to have us warm up. And they would just write a progression on the thing, like 1, 6, 2, 5, 1. And we had to solo, and he would tell us, start on the 5th fret, and you cannot move more than 1 fret in any direction. And so, that was in C, but the 5th fret is A, right? So even here, I'm like, So you get used to it, and it looks impressive, but it's not. Trust me, I'm not showing off. This is something you can do. I guarantee you. I have not met most of you guys. I met some of you. This is something you can do. It just takes effort. And then once you get that in your brain and you're playing with your boys and they're sitting around going, you're going to be like, I did 3 different positions of E major there. And it just blends all together. You just know it. It's not, you don't have to think about it after a while. And it doesn't take that long to get there as long as you're diligent and put in the time. So literally, so when you sit down and play, don't sit on the ground and go, yeah, man, you've been playing that lick since you were 13 years old, haven't you? You don't need to practice that. That's not practicing. That's just repeating. You got to learn something. You got to learn something every day. What's the other? There's melodic minor, which is a flat 3 and a flat 6, but a major 7th, right? And then there's harmonic minor, which is flat 3, flat 6. What? Is that right? No, I said it backwards. Melodic minor is flat 3, flat 7, but the 6 is still. Sounds pretty cool when you're playing pop stuff. That's right, Bob. Bend it till you're in tune. Harmonic minor, the Yngwie Malmsteen thing. Major 7, flat 6. Sounds like you're at a Greek wedding. So it's not that I sat around and ran those scales forever. I did, when I was learning them. But I just know in my head it's a variation of a major scale. So if I'm playing one of these 5 positions of a major scale, I know harmonic minor is going to have a regular 7 and a flat 6. It's that big gap right there. That sounds, if I were a rich man, that's harmonic minor. It's not crazy. It's not a mystery. So what my message is you guys can do this, right? You can go on. So I know a lot of you guys can probably play guitar better than me. So you're sitting here going, Jesus Christ, Dan. But I'm getting old, unfortunately. My hands are now, let's see if I can move my chair. My hands are now 60 years old, so they do what they do, or they do what they don't do. I hear things in my head that do not come out of my hands anymore, but it's all there. So back to the point Scotty was making of like a good guitar is not going to make you play better. It's not like there's a maestro inside just waiting to get out if I had the right guitar. It doesn't work that way. And I know a lot of people sell gear on that premise. Like, there's an Eddie Van Halen inside of you just waiting to get out. All you have to do is buy this guitar for $4,000. I'm like, yeah. Probably not going to happen. Like when you buy a signature model guitar, it's cool if you're a fan and you just want to have the signature model guitar, but it's not going to make you play like that guy. I had it once. And I bought it just because I love the guitar. I had the first signature model that I think Fender did was the Clapton Model Strat. And that was like 1987 or something like that. And I bought the guitar because I loved it. It was a 57 Strat neck, and it had those, I forgot what they're called now. They were kind of quiet, single coil pickups. And they sounded really good for the time. But I did not care that there was a little sticker on there of Eric Clapton's signature. I wasn't trying to play like Eric Clapton, And I love Eric Clapton, but I'm not Eric Clapton. I'm never going to sound like him. So I can imitate some of his licks, sort of, but I don't have his hands. I don't have his timing. I don't have his ears. You can't do it. Anyway, what an uplifting speech you guys are getting. Lace sensor, yeah, thank you, Bob. That's right. Been 40 years, I think, lace sensor pickups. I like the lace sensors. I thought they were good for the time. You know, it was either those or like EMGs, which didn't feed back. And I was playing through a 100-watt Marshall most of the time, so I needed a guitar that didn't feed back. And the lace sensors were great. But anyway, oh, this guitar smells so good. You guys have any questions? I'm just prattling on here. So my message isn't you shouldn't buy a guitar like this, or you're not worthy of it. I'm just saying if you get it, put in the work. You'd be surprised how little work it takes, but it does take work. You know, I always, you know, for me, if no one's here, like all my girls are gone, I have the house to myself, I'll put on a golf tournament on TV and I'll play guitar for 4 hours. And there's something that just breaks down in your, you know, frontal cerebral cortex that's analyzing and listening and going, that doesn't sound cool, or I wish I played better, or any of that nonsense. And you just start playing. And then all of a sudden your ears are connected right to your hands. There's no middleman going, I think we should be doing this, and that doesn't sound right, and you hit a clinker there. You don't have to do any of that. It short circuits from your ears right to your hands. And I guess they call that getting in the zone. For me, it takes, you know, if I sit down completely undisturbed, I can kind of get in the zone after about 45 minutes of playing. It used to take me 3 or 4 hours, you know. But if you have that time, just do it. You'll be surprised. Like, you might like your guitar. It might do quite a bit. I guarantee you hand, you know, a normal average off-the-shelf Les Paul, which is nothing like what pros play, to most really great guitar players, they'll find a way to make it sound good. It's in there. It's all in there. You know, the signature models also, they're not like what the dude plays. I mean, you know that in your heart, your suspicious heart, you know that, but it's true that they're not the same. There's no way to do that. You know, you can't get all that good dried out wood and hand wound pickups and, you know, for 20,000 units. You know, it's pretty hard. It's not practical. And they don't make that much money on those. Those are not high profit guitars. They're not made on the assembly line. You know, they're handmade. And that doesn't even necessarily make it better. It's just different. You know, handmade doesn't always mean better. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and pack it up. I'm really sorry that StreamYard did not work today. I am kind of angry about that, as I would assume you are too, and you should be. I just can't explain it. I don't know what happens. I'll shut my computer down probably and start it all back up and it'll work. I don't know why that is, but I can't do that because I'm on StreamYard, I'm on 3 Facebook pages, and I'm on 2 YouTube pages, and I can't reconnect to all of them without creating a whole new show, which takes a long time. It takes about 10 minutes, and no, I don't expect anyone to wait through that, but I really apologize. And I do have a cold. You can hear me struggling to finish sentences without, you know, stuff from downtown in Flimville. So I'm just going to lay down, take a little nap, and I've got the Nash stuff is great. Don't worry, Mac, you didn't miss anything today because StreamYard is not working. We couldn't get the guitar sound to come through. So good to see you. I have played a lot of Nash guitars. They're great. Peter actually has one too, and I've played it. I love it. They're really good. So anyway, I'm going to go ahead and head out unless you guys have any questions. And I've got a headache and the cold thing, and I need to lay down, and I suck. I'm a grumpy old man. That's what I was saying at the beginning of the show. If you're sitting there going, wow, Dan looks kind of bad, that's because I feel bad. Anyway, just one of those Scheisse colds. It's a German word. I don't know how to translate it, Scheisse. One of those Scheisse colds that are going around. I just need to get nutrition and sleep it off. But anyway, I love you guys. Thanks for bearing it out with me today. We had a pretty good crowd that stuck around. I really appreciate it. More than I would have guessed, considering that there's no guitar sounds. There's an off chance I might have this guitar next week. I don't know. I will definitely make certain I'll do a sound check before So I know with StreamYard, like if I just shut everything down and then restart, sometimes I have to do it 5 times. And then it comes back and miraculously, for some random reason, it works. If I can find a better alternative, I'll use it. And if you guys have any suggestions, please let me know. Bob, what's Miles up to? Miles is retired. He's got a border collie that I found for him about, 6 years ago? Something like that. And he and that dog are best friends. They go for a walk about 4 or 5 times a day. And Miles is at his house and happy dry roasting his own coffee and making the most incredible coffee you've ever had. I go over there quite frequently just for a caffeine bump, and it really is reminiscent of that white powder we all liked in the 80s. It's really good. Anyway, I'm going to let you go. I hear dog noise going on back here, so I think there's ruckus in the house. I'm going to go ahead and jump off. Anyway, I love you guys. Thank you very much for tolerating technical failure today. But I'll see you next week, and we'll make it work, I promise. Okay? All right. Let me get out of here. All right. Cheers, fellas. Take care.